very first Pat McGrath Mega Eyeshadow Palette. We messy. I don't usually go this dramatic, but it's Pat McGrath, so we have to. I'm going to pop. Oh. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be playing around and doing a review on the very first Pat McGrath Mega Eyeshadow Palette. This is something I've been so excited to try. I talked about it in my holiday collection launch review where I went over all of the, upcoming high-end holiday launches and whether I would actually consider purchasing them or not, or whether I think they were one to pass on this year. If you're interested in something like that, I'll link it below. This is something I was definitely interested in. I've always been a fan of Pat McGrath's eyeshadow ever since I started using it. I'm obsessed, and it was so exciting to find out that she was coming out with a mega palette this year for Christmas, for the holiday collection. There's a ton of other stuff that comes in the collection. There's quads, there's lipsticks, there's highlight, there's all sorts of things. I talk about it all in the video I mentioned earlier. So again, you can check that out, or you can go on her website. It's also on Sephora. This was the thing that really stood out to me, and this is the only part of the collection that I got. The first ever Mothership Mega Palette starring a treasure trove of 18 seductive shades. The regular Mothership palettes are a 10-pan eyeshadow palette that are 1.32 grams each. So that comes to 13.2 grams of eyeshadow. The Mega Palette comes with 18 shadows, a bit smaller at 1.1 grams. So it comes to 19.8 grams. So you actually get more eyeshadow in this palette, and it's cheaper. So I don't really understand why this is cheaper, but are we complaining? No. I'm sure the quality is just as good. I mean, I just have no self-control. I did swatch a few of the shadows, and from swatch, they look just as incredible, if not more incredible than her normal eyeshadow palettes and formulas. So I don't think you're losing out on any quality. You're getting more quantity, and you're getting it for a better price. So what is there to not love about this palette? The regular palettes come for $125 US. They come to $170 Canadian. That's the regular Mothership 10-pan palettes. This mega palette goes for $78 US and $105 Canadian. So you save $65 Canadian, and you save, just a moment while I use my calculator, and you save $47 US. So you're saving a really decent amount of money. You get more eyeshadow. So again, I'll say it one more time, what's not to be excited about this palette for? I think the one thing that you will notice really quickly is that packaging wise is the biggest difference. Obviously it's larger. When you look at the front of it, it's absolutely stunning. Goes really beautifully with her Celestial Divinity theme and color scheme and packaging theme. I really like the packaging. The only thing is it is a little bit cheaper packaging because it is the cardboard, whereas the regular ones, I should have brought one down, but the regular ones are the heavy, thick, plastic. They feel really sturdy. They are really sturdy. They're weighty, everything like that. Obviously you must pay for packaging for those ones. So I'm really excited about this. When you look at the packaging, it is that cardboard, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I prefer this packaging for usefulness and for just realistically, because it's thinner. Yes, it's larger, but it's thinner, so it's going to fit in, and not take up so much space. So I like that. Some people don't like cardboard packaging, so maybe for a Pat McGrath palette, you might be disappointed in that, but you're saving a lot of money, so I don't think we can complain here. You do get the, whatever you call those things there that support it, which I do like because it's going to help ensure that you don't how many times I've pulled the top of a cardboard packaging back too far and broke it, and then it's hanging from this part here. So I do like that, just the little touches. You do get a decent sized mirror, bigger than the mirrors in the original ones. So I really don't think there's not much to complain about this palette. Obviously, we still need to test quality and the actual eyeshadow. We'll talk about color scheme, but packaging wise and value-wise, I think it's incredible. So now that I've blabbed on about that long enough, let's just get down to trying this out. I am gonna do eyes first because when you take a look, I guess I should show you. That is the eyeshadow palette. Again, don't mind my fingerprints. I have zero self-control. I had to swatch it. That's the palette. It's absolutely stunning. I'm so pumped. When you take a look at the palette though, you see a lot of dark and a lot of metallic. All screams fallout to me. Not that I think her shadows are excessively, you know, bad for falling out, but I just want to be able to play and not have to worry about fallout on my foundation, so I am going to do eyes first. Okay, so don't mind my mirror here. It's just I feel like half the time I edit my videos, I'm like facing this way and you barely see what I'm doing to my eyes. And that's because I'm trying to have my mirror not in the camera. I need to figure out some sort of mirror situation where I can have it in front of me and not have it right in your face. But for today, I'm gonna just have it here because I want you guys to really be able to see what I'm doing. Prep my eyes with MAC Paint Pot and let's just dive in. I just wanna get down to it because I'm so excited. I am going to do swatches at the end of this video, by the way, of the whole entire palette, up close and personal. There are only 3 mattes. Some people may be offended by that. Some people may not like that. So that may deter some people. I totally understand, and if that's not your thing, by all means, this may not be your palette. But one thing I want to mention is you get a nice like purpley burgundy, you get almost a more reddish brown, and then you get a softer kind of dusty pink. Those colors for mattes I think are good because everybody's gonna, you know, be able to, I think, find one. Like this one's gonna be more warm. This one, from the look of it, is gonna be more cool toned, and this is pretty neutral. So I think the mattes that they offer and that are in this palette are good options. If you're looking at this and saying, well, I don't need, you know, 15 metallics, keep in mind, like this one here, very metallic. There's a very strong purple glitter shift in it. But when you have most metallics, when you use them with a fluffier brush and you just kind of fluff them in the crease, most times they work out really nicely. You get more of the color of the, you know, for example, this is a more black shade. So you get a more, you know, black with a bit of a purple shift, rather than if you were to press it with your finger or wet brush, then you're gonna get more of the metallic and it's gonna really like pop. So if you do wanna use these darker shades, right, like the ones I'm pointing to here, there's a lot of shades you could still use in the crease. You know, they're still usable in the crease. So that's one comment I wanted to make, but like, oh, I'm just so excited to try this. Like, shut up already, Caitlin, and just get to it. So let's start with this one here. The middle row, the furthest one to the left, which is Venomous Void. Take a Morphe M522. I'm gonna really just pat it down first to get a base. No messing around. We're just gonna go in like hard. So I'm really building it up. I'm gonna bring it halfway in. So that's what I'm starting with. I just realized that my shirt is more of like a reddish shade. I should have gone with this one, but we're just gonna not match. I'm gonna probably end up changing my shirt later, so I apologize. Okay, so now that we have the shade actually laid down, now I'm gonna go in with my Morphe E22, and I'm just gonna lightly like go back and forth, little tiny circular motions, just blend that shade out a little bit. Remember, we are going to be using a wipe to clean everything up, so go outside the lines to get that perfect blend, and then you can clean it up after. And remember, you may lose, especially with purples, you may lose a little bit of the pigmentation and vibrancy of the shade. That's okay, because we can go back and reinforce that. Right now we're just working on like blending it out. It may look a little messy at first, but don't worry. We're gonna take some of that shade on the Morphe E22 again, and now we're gonna reinforce that. We messy, but that's okay. I also feel like everything always looks so much worse on my eyes when I don't have foundation on, so if yours looks like mine does right now, it's okay. We are going to blend this out, pop some metallic on, and it's gonna look fantastic. I'm gonna take this shade here, which is Venusian Orchid. And I'm going to take like a fluffier brush and just run it along the edge of that purple. Just slightly, and then I'm going to bring it in underneath the brow bone. I don't usually go this dramatic, but it's Pat McGrath, so we have to. I actually follow and like am subscribed and watch, what's her name? Alexandra, I forget her last name, but she actually does some of the pictures. She does her own eyeshadow for Pat McGrath's advertisements. So when you take a look at her eyeshadow looks, like they're always so dramatic, but they're so stunning. And so this is kind of inspiration for today's look is, you know, bringing it up higher than usual, really smoking it out, but it's Pat McGrath, so we have to. So now that that's blended out, we're gonna go ahead with some metallics, which is like the most exciting part of this palette. There's some really, really incredible options. It's honestly hard to choose. I'm for sure gonna be doing another tutorial in the next, you know, month or two with this palette to give you guys some more, you know, tutorials and ideas on how to use this palette, because I just want to play. I just want to play with this palette all day long. I'm going to take this shade here, Violet Void, and I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to press it on the outer, like the outer half of the lid, I guess you would describe that as. Now, what we're gonna do is we're actually going to utilize one of these metallics in the crease. We're gonna take this one here, which is Smoked Amethyst, like my Morphe R39, and we're going to use that. So we're just kind of framing the crease a little bit. However you would want it framed. You don't have to do the, you know, angular. You can do more rounded and just kind of pull it and blend it into that shade there. Okay, so now that the crease is fully done, we are going to this shade here all over the lid first. So we're gonna bring it in all in here. I'm gonna go with this one here, which is Lunar Champagne. I'm going to pop that. Oh my goodness. On like the inner half of the lid. That is incredible. Now we're gonna take a more purple based metallic and lay it in the center, and then it'll be like a transition into the purple. Yeah, let's do this one. So we're gonna take this one, which is Odyssey. We're gonna pop that in the center of the lid. I would seriously buy this palette just for these metallics. I mean, I know it's majority metallic, but like just for these bright lid shades, they're honestly incredible. Like a fluffy brush and just kind of run over the metallics, and it'll just pull any of the excess into the next one, and it helps just blend them into each other. We're going to just reinforce this matte one last time. Venomous Void. One last time. Make this one right here that I have in the inner part of the lid with a fluffier brush. Really minimal product, and I'm just going to highlight that brow bone. There's so many different looks you could do with this too. Like you can go really warm with these reds and like almost orangey browns and the yellow golds, and then there's those super dark purple cool tones. There's like a greenish shift duochrome. Like there's so many different options, and I think this palette is never ending with opportunity and with looks, and I'm already know I absolutely love this palette. I'm gonna go ahead, clean this up before we go any further. I think that that's good. I think if I added too much, it would be too busy. It's already busy enough on those lids. Like, look at that. Love it. I'm gonna go ahead, do the rest of my makeup, come back, we'll finish the lower lash line and the eyes, and yeah, and you can see the final look. Okay, so now all we have to do is lower lash line, mascara, liner, false lashes, and we're done. First, we're gonna take that matte plummy shade Venomous Void. Bring it all the way across. I mean, we went smoky on the top, we may as well go smoky on the bottom. And now I'm gonna take this shade right here, same brush on the outer half to just kind of darken that part up a little bit. And now I'm going to take this shade here that we placed in the center of the lid, and I'm going to take that on a brush and pop that in the center of the lower lash line as well. And then last but not least, we're gonna take that beautiful shade we have in the inner kind of lid on the top, place that in the inner corner, really make that pop, and then pull that down into the lower lash line. So now I'm just gonna finish up the eyes. We're gonna do some liner, some mascara, and some false lashes, and we're donezo. This is obviously a more dramatic look than an everyday for sure, but I think, you know, there's potential for everyday looks too. You know, that's a beautiful, more natural matte. There's some metallics that are a bit more natural, but I think if you want an everyday kind of palette, this would not be the type of palette that, you know, I would recommend. So long story short, I'm really happy with the palette. I think that it's an incredible value and quality. I think I could, you know, create a really nice look, and I think that there's a lot of potential with it. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, this review, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more looks with this palette, definitely comment that below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.